block the publication of a book, which is, given our First Amendment and our right of free speech and at least so-called liberal orientation of that administration, that was an extraordinary fact, which gives you some sense of the power that at one time the mafia, organized crime, La Cosa Nostra had in the United States. In January 1st, 1959, after a long history of having Fulgencio Batista, the head of the Cuban government, on the take, protecting the mafia's narcotics and gambling interests in Cuba, Fidel Castro came down from the Sierra Maestros and overthrew the Batista government. Batista gone, Castro took over, but the mafia was still comfortable because, as the mafia has always shown in any conflict situation, they hedge their bets. They'll support both sides in any given conflict situation. And they had done the same thing during the Cuban Revolution. They were shipping arms and ammunition to Batista. They were shipping arms and ammunition to Castro.
During the Kennedy administration, the government was keeping one terrible secret. And that secret was that the CIA had entered into an alliance with the mafia to assassinate Fidel Castro. And about this, there are no doubts. They had a Senate investigation of it. They have a paper record of it. The CIA entered into an alliance with San John Connor, Santos Traficante, Johnny Rosselli, to murder the president of Cuba. This was something that that the government didn't want anybody to know.
Naturally, there would be some merging of interest between the CIA and the mob in dealing with the politicians in order to get the gambling that they wanted. And it probably also may go back to the days when the mob was rolling big in Havana during the Batista. And I'm convinced that there were connections, definite connections between Gene Connor and the CIA to give some credence to the kill Castro theory.
When Castro took over, my father lost. He lost a great deal of money. And I think the reason the CIA approached Sam was because of his knowledge of Cuba.
Soon after Castro had taken over, Hoffa orchestrated a multi-million-dollar Teamster pension fund loan, which led to the shipment of a fleet of C-74 Globemaster aircraft to the new Cuban government. To us, it was a sign of good faith between Hoffa, the mob, and the Cuban government saying, hey, listen, we can all continue to do business. But in April of 1959, Castro wipes out the gambling casinos. He shuts down the narcotics operation. He exiles Carlos Marcello, Meyer Lansky. He imprisons Santos Traficante. So with all of these operations going into the toilet, Meyer Lansky says, I put $1 million contract on anybody who will kill Castro.
Y nosotros los cubanos, si tenemos vergüenza, que hay mucho todavía que la tienen.
If many of us Cubans are embarrassed because of our work situation, and let's face it, some of us are, we have to recognize that Mayor Lansky stimulated tourism in Cuba. He brought money in instead of taking it out. He opened several casinos. He put thousands of Cubans to work. He organized Cuban tourism in concert with other nations. In the 2 or 3 years that he was here, that he was
con las
involved with
grandes
Cuba.
agencias turísticas
Cuba gave nothing
del
to him,
extranjero,
but he gave much
y
to
en los
Cuba.
2 o 3 años que tuvo Mayor Lasky en Cuba, Cuba no le dio nada, él le dio mucho a Cuba.
And then in December of 1959, Castro did a major policy speech, and he announces that he's a communist. Now, he's not just alienated the mafia, but he's alienated the United States government, which is not going to be putting up with some communists 90 miles off the coast of Florida. So Alan Dulles, the head of the Central Intelligence Agency, says, we are going to take that contract against Castro. We're going to work with the mafia to kill Fidel Castro.